And we're back to another episode of Let's Play Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. I'm your host, the RPG guy, and we've entertained the Balrog enough here. We've learned about 2 to 3 skills per character, and though I could sit here and do so much more, it's about time we move on. So let us do so. And really, we're gonna do so in a very specific way here. By just using offensive skills at this point. Like, literally. We don't want to hit him with our hardest skills, because again, we can still exploit so much AP out of this boss by just not using Gandalf offensively. So there's not really a reason to go out of our way to do that. And we can still build up Hadhod as well with mountain shield if we feel like we need to. Just keep the pressure on, so to speak. I've been having problems with my Hapog not my Hapog box, my components video switcher. It's been having discoloration issues, so if it comes up this episode, I apologize. I might have to directly plug it into the Hapog box and buy a new one, but I can't. Just as a heads up, if the colors are off at some point in this fight, I apologize up front. Not much. There's a little bit I can do, but it would just be kind of lame to have to reconfigure the setup here. It also is part of the reason I think why the last recording or two has been a little darker, is I think it's just dying slow, painful death. But as you can see, we picked up Paralyzing Shot, Cursed Arrow, and Flash Arrow. So he's technically caught up in that regard, not necessarily here. Because you might get tempted to use Gandalf's attack, and maybe we'll end the boss with one of his attacks. But as long as the boss is still just basically standing, there's no reason whatsoever to, worry about using his skills or not, other than to replenish our lost AP. There's Crippling Smash, an older skill. Now the other thing too is that there's a chance that characters might learn counterattack, so we don't want this to drag on too long. So since, for example, Hadhod learned Crippling Smash, it's probably in our best interest to bring in Barathor and start. Once he learns his next sword skill, if he even learns it, then we'll move on. We just not move on, but then we just make sure to beat the boss as quickly as possible, including using Gandalf's skills if we must. You see, we're not doing a lot of damage to him. That's really Gandalf's function, so to speak. And in theory, again, if you sat here long enough, you theoretically could learn every skill, that every character has, including counterattack. Though I think eventually you would stop because you would the enemy would be just eventually will die. It does have enough health that we can register that we're doing damage to it. Enough damage too to make it show. As you can see, he's down to about almost a quarter health. Huh. How did he get the AP to do that? Oh well. We'll stop to that. Heal Barathor, bring back Hadhod to put mountain shield on everyone. You haven't seen him do that in a while, so clearly he has an AP regen of some sort. You can see we picked up Devastating Shield, Endure Flame, and the the weaker one. Just that way there's no question of what Hadhod needs to work on. And Devastating Shield is actually pretty awesome, so that might be something we put up to speed this along here. So anytime the enemy attacks the character, he takes damage back. See what his health is at. We might have to use Gandalf. One of Gandalf's skills coming up here. It's just really slow. There we go. Bolt of the Valar. So he does about 51, 55, whereas Idriel was doing about 1500 before the reduction of strength here. You see now he's hurting himself here. Nice crit. Somehow, he's getting enough AP back to do this. Ow! At least we have an easy way to recover. Well, let's just keep that going for a little bit. Next round, if we get a free attack, we'll have her do it. You know, the other thing we could actually do too is on. We can also use perfect mode. Me as well. We saved it up this long. And then Bolt of the Valor. He's almost dead. Uh-oh. We let him get too much AP back. I think we're just gonna have to Wizard's Drain with Gandalf the rest of the fight and not even bother with anything else. I mean, he's almost dead, so we just prevent him from his uber attacks all the time. We'll be in a good position here. And that's pretty much the secret to this fight in a nutshell. Just constantly bash him into oblivion with Wizard's Drain and Drain Inspiration if you don't need to heal. And he can't use his two strongest attacks, pretty much. Is what it amounts to. Just keep draining him over and over every round until he can't do him much anymore. Then he's mostly defenseless. Nice dodge. Yeah, there's not much more to say other than just we gotta win the fight. Bringing Barathor. There we go. Goss!
The wizard's spot is not something to trifle with.
And he's gone. I'm falling! 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 As you can see that he's clearly falling. You know, and there it goes. But we're gonna skip it because I don't want to get flagged, as you know. If you watch the movie, it's all in the movie. And then Idriel gets 2 levels. That gets her maybe a little caught up, but not... I think she's still behind everybody by about a level. But really, Hadhod's usefulness in a big way is going to start to dissipate. Again, he won't have Goblin Bane to exploit as much.
I see you enter Lothlorien. My companions journeyed through these woods not long ago. They will allow you passage, but know that this is not a gift often granted. You will not enter the heart of their kingdom, merely a brief glimpse of it, so that you might understand. They are elves, immortal, and graced with powers
Again, I don't
beyond
want
your
to...
imagining.
You don't want to get flagged. Those are really so like the epic scenes show footage from the movies, and then it like gives you, you know, Gandalf's kind of insight to everything. We get on some boats, some elvish boats, and then we get sent back here. So if you need to know what kind of went down, that's literally what went down. Let's do some stats. Let's build up dex for everybody just to ensure that our ability to hit an enemy is not put into some kind of weird jeopardy. So anybody who got it's gonna get it. There. So that puts us at what 32, and everybody else is at 31. With that said, let's go to skills. Let's start with Hadhod here, as he's learning Durin's Wrath, which is fine. Flame of Ruin is fine. Is fine. That's fine. As much as I would like this skill, we need to work on Cleansing Waters. I know it's already being worked on, but Cleansing Waters is pretty much the beefy skill that we just learned from Barathor here. We just learned Shield of Courage, which does the same thing and grants immunity to fear, but having 2 characters that can cure all status effects is a good idea. Royal Grace is not necessary. But neither is Warcry. Last Gasp is okay, so we may as well just learn Royal Grace as far as that goes. Defensive Strike is in process. Leech Inspiration is in process. Okay, here's the question here. Shield Piercing is on the way. And arrow splinters. I made a comment that we would learn arrow splinters in that last fight, but I got tired of Kingsfoil Grace takes a while to kick in, so I got kind of burnt out on that. And we could use things like paralyzing shot now, which are more useful. And then you have grants entire party health regen, which is what Barathor is already learning. So piercing spirit is going to be a bigger deal because it lowers the magic damage an enemy can cause. That's a more important skill than Grace of Athelas. Shield piercing, yeah, that lowers the melee defense of an enemy. Pinning shot is good too, but we need that one for sure. So we're on the right track with learning a lot of these skills per se. So that's very good. And if we go into scenes here, I believe. I just want to make sure. I actually think we're okay. Yeah, and this is actually semi-useful. We would have to put it on somebody, though. I guess Idriel would be an option. And put it here. Now, this elf stone's a bit different. It's like, wait a minute, what? Darkness? Yeah, dark skills. Shadowcraft to be specific. Whip of the Master. Okay, Dispel removes enemy enhancements on a single target. That's a really good skill to have. Whip of the Master protects a party member against slowing effects. It's also a good one. Slow an enemy attack rate. Silence. Drain health is negligible because we have lots of skills that do that. A powerful spirit attack, which is Black Speech. Fear paralyzes a single enemy with a fear for a short time, followed by Wheel of Fire. To be fair, the only two useful ones are, strangely enough, these two skills. Dispel is very powerful. The idea that you can ignore, the idea that you can ignore, I guess, enemies or ignore enemy buffs because you can cancel them out on your turn, to me is a big deal. That's a really good ability to be able to have. And we can put it on a couple of characters. Now, with that said, I believe there's somebody who can also do it. But the idea that multiple characters can cast a spell is going to carry a metric ton of weight. And I mean that jokingly, yes, but it is true. It will carry a lot of weight going forward. We're kind of locked. Congratulations, you knocked a new chapter of evil mode. That's what I wanted to double check. Okay. So before we go further, let's save our game. Because saving is your friend. And then we will do our evil mode. Because this is really the evil mode everybody wants to be able to say they've done. So we need to go to options, quit. We'll turn those on when I need to remind myself after evil mode we need to turn that back on. A little more evil mode. They really shouldn't have made us have to do this. They really should have. I guess. Yeah, they shouldn't have made us had to do this. They should have made this an option within the game, just within the regular game. Oops. We need Eastern Moria. I think we're going to get the troll battle with the drummer troll and the other troll. And we're going to get the battle that everybody really wants to do. And you'll see what it is in a moment. But, yeah, so we're here with this grouping. Again, Idriel needs to die first because, kill the white mage. So when we get a turn, we'll do that. And it shouldn't take that much effort to do. And then, really, after that, go after Elagos because he's the one nasty kind of customer that we have to take extra damage from. And it shouldn't be that hard to hit him. Though I think Barathor made it harder for us to hit him, which isn't going to help. Because he can make it so that it's easier for us to take damage, but if it starts with that, we can't do anything about it. We just gotta kind of fight through it. And you'll notice he gets a lot more of the extra skills here. I'm having second thoughts about who to go after, but no, Idriel's now doing more damage than Elagos at the moment. Get Idriel out of there. She's still in it, too. Okay, 1 down, 2 to go. Oh, man. Really? Yeah, the evil modes are also going to get harder, too, by the way. Just something to keep in mind. All that's left is old Barry here. But again, he has the capacity to... We have the capacity to lose this, actually. Which would kind of suck, but... We had a pretty rough start out the gate. The thing with Barry is that Barry is slow. Barathor is slow enough that we'll get... Looks like 4 straight-up attacks on him. Which should seal the deal for this, unless he, like, miraculously dodges, like, all the attacks. But clearly he didn't. Okay, now we're in this. Now, we have a bunch of things here. Inspire allies to dodge. Flame of Udun. Dark Escape. Dodging, you might think... It's hard to say if it's important or not. Because... the killing of Idriel is the biggest thing here. I'd rather focus on that, and we know she's weak to fire normally, so that didn't seem to do that much. The other thing, too, is we can stun enemies as well, which means we can prevent Idriel from getting a turn. And then you might be surprised, but the second target we would want to go after is Hadhod. And the reason we would want to go after Hadhod is because he has Goblin's Bane, but our ability to prevent healing kind of comes first. You see that the drum thing isn't a thing in this fight either. Nice, he wasted his turn. Nice crit. Renewal on the swordsman. The sword goblin. Just because we need to keep him alive. If we lose the archer, that's fine. He's the weakest link anyway. If we end up with a free turn, we'll make sure to put up the extra skill. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. You know, we are gonna go after Elagos instead, I think, next. Just because he's easier to kill. And we will stun Hadhod, because we'll kill... Oh, well, it doesn't help if you miss there, Mr. Vet. Dark Renewal himself. Alright, one problem down. Dark Escape. Prevent us taking damage from these things. Though I don't think we can dodge Stone Hewer, so meh. Dodge this prick. Because it's not going to work very well on Hadhod, so... Alright, one down, one to go. Nice. And he's almost dead. Nice. I think we got two more. Yeah. Exactly the ones I thought. So we need to deal with this. Again, no Idril. Now, here's the thing: that I don't think there's no Idril in this fight, so it really just depends on what you want to do here. Let's hasten his action so he can hasten and heal more often. And then who to go after is going to be tough. I would just say probably Belagos, because he hits pretty hard, as you can clearly see. And him killing our drummer would be bad. He's also probably the easiest hero to kill. Alright, we're gonna move on. No, that's not what we're gonna do. Darkest Renewal on himself. Look at that big old heal. And we'll have to hit him again anyway. And that breaks the shield because we did enough damage to break through it. Battle March him, the cave troll, so that way he'll get more turns more often. And then we can have the drummer on a free turn where he's not healing, so you can have him start attacking with Sonic Fury, which will AoE everything. if any of the trolls get under about 2,000 health, we'll heal, but I don't think that that's going to be a problem. Neither of the two heroes can multi-target, so... whichever one's weakest. And that's the reason why, because of this crap. Luckily, he hasn't put in anything that makes the. I don't think he's done any cheers or chants that make it harder. The hero's harder to hit yet, so we want to prevent that as. Want to prevent that as soon as possible. There we go. And now Hadhod's pretty much just needs to be smacked down. And Hadhod's pretty slow, so again, this is not a problem. This is a non-issue, as I would call it. But again, complaining about a game that's this old is kind of trivial. EA is not really making this type of game, these types of games anymore, and hasn't since this game's release. So I have a feeling that we don't need to be worrying about any more Lord of the Rings games being this way. Though I will say it's a really nice way to play a Lord of the Rings game, is to play it in a Final Fantasy-esque style. It's kind of cool, not gonna lie. And they could totally make more of this. But that's for me to... I'll talk more about that when we get to the end of the Let's Play, about what could happen and what didn't need to happen and all that. Okay, so Roaring Inferno and then Pillar of Wrath we're going to want to use big time, because that's going to take away a lot of their AP, in theory. And there we go. That all of the enemies except Gandalf are relatively harmless if they're even alive after that, which, as you can see, they're not. And so now, and Gandalf I don't think has the means to resurrect characters, so... Now you notice the pillar attack has slowed us down something horrible, but it wiped out the whole party except Gandalf. So if we want to beat Gandalf here, you have to make a decision. Strike with all might with the flame of Udun, or the firing whip. The fiery whip. As you can see too, it also took half of Gandalf's health. Let's just use a sword attack though, and just see how it fares. Okay, we'll be using the pillar attack, because that's more likely to hit. And he's going to keep draining our AP, which would be bad. Not that it should get to the point where we run out, but I don't trust this game. So we'll try to prevent that from being a thing. And pretty much one more of those will kill Gandalf, if he's not dead already. Nope. Yeah, he's pretty much dead. And there you go. You get the 3rd Age Foul Blade of Morgul and a Cracked Elfstone of Spirit Enhancement. So, not very much other than the sword, but we got it. That's what's important. So go back in. Alright. And so, let's take a look at this. So this is times 41 plus 3 damage per level versus times 28 plus 2 with the 2 strength bonus. So we lose a little bit of strength, but we get a bunch of constitution, and we also lose 1 speed, 1 spirit, but we get to do more damage. So we'll be acquiring that weapon. And we're all squared away there. And then as far as the cracked elf stone, unless we have somebody worth putting it on right now, which, well, I guess we can put it here. It's got 4 on him actually, so no, we're good. And we'll double check skills, but I think we're okay on everything. So yeah, so there we go. Evil mode done. Now before we save our game, let's go to options, subtitles, so we can actually get that going. Oh, I don't want to quit. Let's make a save. And that's really all there is to all of that. So with that said, guys, this is a really good place for us to stop for right now. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/JacktarStudios, and when we come back, we're going to have some new enemy types to deal with. And again, it's, as you know, it's a gauntlet of fights, going forward. And yeah, I mean, we're on the right track, and we're going to get a lot more time with Idriel in versus Hadhod. So that'll help get her and everybody else caught up to Hadhod. So we're going to be taking him out for a temporary period of time to really work on some of the other characters, because they could definitely use, the extra help. I will say that Hadhod has still a lot of work cut out for him learning these other skills coming up, but he's going to get more than enough face time to do that. Idriel has almost learned Leech Inspiration. Then she's only got 2 more offensive skills left, and we'll wait quite a while before she worries about that. Cleansing Waters being her biggest thing that we got to really learn. She's also a lot further along in her skills than other characters, but because of her levels, it's more important that we start putting her in the party until she at least catches up with everyone else. Royal Grace, and then still many other skills we gotta really learn here. And then of course, as you can see, he's going on the right track. He's learning his skills as he goes. So, and then Flames of Ruin, and then Dragon Call, which aren't that important to know. But we will be learning those in due course, of course. So, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And like I said, when we come back, we will be checking out East Eminent Riverbank. And moving forward, we're probably a good third of the way through the game, give or take, because you'll have the Rohan section, and then there's going to be the later section. So we're easily roughly a quarter to a third of the way through the game. So we are getting there slowly but surely. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, guys, and we'll see you guys next time.